It really took him off guard. He was a CEO of a very significant company, and he had been invited to a seminar. And the seminar was put on by one of the local universities in town. And of course, the various business students and others were invited to come, and he gave a presentation. And then, of course, he was open for a Q&A, question and answers. And as that was going along, one of the young women stood up and said, "You know what? I've always wanted to ask someone this. You're very concerned about your business, and it's a part of your life. Do you ever pray? Do you ever pray about your business?" Wow. Did it go quiet? A sense of uneasiness. And then the CEO caught his breath, and he tried to answer it. And what do you think he said? "Well, what about you? Do you ever pray for your business?" I'm Stan Houston. This is the Jesus Entrepreneur Experience coming your way from the Christian Entrepreneur Network. And today on the program, we're going to talk about praying and perhaps podcasting and perhaps a way to position your business. A key question. All that's coming up in about 12 to 20 minutes of thought and conversation, a conversation that counts, and you're invited to join us right now. Once again, welcome to another edition, version, episode, coaching experience, maybe a little bit of a teach about, usually about 12 to 20 minutes for what some people call a podcast. And obviously what it really is, it's an internet radio program that usually is on demand. You can listen to it whenever you want to and however you want to, on your computer, on your smartphone, whatever works for you. By the way, just a little format that made it a little bit easier for me to understand, and I felt kind of good about this. I was recently asked by my good friend who I talked about, Deb Newman, who is moving on after a long and successful career in the insurance business and finding what her next chapter is. And so I was invited to come back and be a party to the party that she's going to have sometime in March. And then I remembered, she asked me about the podcasting. I say, "Well, Deb, you know what? We actually invented it before we invented it." We didn't invent it, but we actually did. Because remember, years ago, one of the first things we did when we got going is we sent out little audio cassettes to all of the people on your mailing list. So instead of sending out a newsletter, we actually went into the studio and produced a professional presentation, and then we put it on cassettes and put that together, packaged it all up, and sent people a audio program that was kind of a report and instruction and work for the people. And she said, "Yes, I remember that, and it worked great. And like so many things that work so well, we stopped doing it." And that kind of is the way things go sometime. But I pointed out that that actually was a precedent for the idea of what is now making a short, 25, 30-minute program and then putting it on the internet for people to listen to and respond to. So I guess we invented it in that way. But here's the question that we want to talk about today. That was a very interesting seminar. Can you imagine? The CEO certainly wasn't expecting that question. Do you pray for your business? And here's what actually happened. Is the gentleman stopped, and then he looked up, and it seems like he kind of got his courage. And he said, yes, I do. And then he just simply went into a very brief exposition of the fact that he was a man of faith and that he believed that prayer may have some effect in life and work, and that, yes, he did pray for his business, for his company. Then he kind of left it at that, and there weren't any follow-up questions, but one of the ones I would love to then have asked him, and I'm going to ask you, do you pray for your company? You're a Christian entrepreneur. I'm assuming that prayer is a part of your life. Well, do you pray for your company? Do you pray for your business? What do you pray about? What are some of the things you pray about? If you pray for your business, do you just pray that you'll make money, that you'll know how to be smart? Well, all of those might be right, but let me just ask you, focus your thoughts. What if you would make a decision that you will really, and you may even share it with people? Do you think you could do that? If you do pray for your company, would you ever pray in public for your company? Would you ever pray in front of your colleagues or employees or customers? Not that you have to. I'm just asking. But the question is, what would you pray for? Or what do you pray for in your business? Now, I'd love to hear from you. In fact, I'd love to have you on the program for you to talk about it. So why don't you reach out to me at radioedge77@gmail.com, radioedge77@gmail.com, and you know what? We can interview you for the radio on your smartphone. That's right. You don't have to sit in front of a computer. You don't have to find a microphone and a headset. The technology developed by some really smart Christian entrepreneurs makes it possible for us to do a broadcast quality recording by simply calling you on your smartphone, and the conversation then can be edited and recorded and broadcast, and it will be broadcast quality. So why don't you give me a call? 520-664-7002, USA, 520-664-7002, USA, and that'll probably work on the WhatsApp, and you can reach me on email, radioedge77@gmail.com, radioedge77@gmail.com. Tell me, what do you pray for your company, for your business? I'd love to hear. And maybe we'll have a bit of a conversation with one of you shortly, and maybe we'll have some suggestions about who and what you might pray for your company, for your business. I'm Stan Houston. This is the Jesus Entrepreneur Experience. It truly is what it takes radio, radio on the edge, radio right now. And we'll be right back. And once again, prayer. My friend Corky Hahn has really been a mentor to me. He's very involved in entrepreneurship, one of the original Kingdom Christian entrepreneurs, and very much involved in the prayer ministry. And there's a long story, but I'll just make it very short. As Corky went through the battle of seeing his wife go through a tragic illness, he just realized that he had to simply reach out to people and say, keep praying. Keep praying. Keep praying. He said nothing more than that. And yet today, Corky still does that. Whenever I get a message from him, just keep praying. Keep praying. And I remember that, and now as I've gone through a lot more of life and some very difficult situations, that whole idea of prayer without ceasing, it's beginning to make more sense to me. And so I'm asking myself the question, what does it mean? How can I keep praying? Again, a little bit to stir your mind, maybe touch your heart. That's could be where the power is. There we've gone. All right. Prayer and power. And there might be some exceptional power in what I'm doing right now, the Internet on-demand radio called podcasting. Now, let me give you a little bit of a radio theory, because what I'm going to start doing is I'm going to start teaching you all how to be on the radio, how to produce a radio program, because I guarantee you, in the future of your life and business and marketing, you're going to have to learn how to do radio. Now, some 80 years ago, a man named Dale Carnegie, How to Win Friends and Influence People, and we have an update of that book, still sells well, still does very well, and we've updated it with a Christian, you might say, emphasis to it, and we simply say this: making good friends. No, not how to win friends, how to make good friends and make it in the marketplace. How to make your name in the marketplace. We're going to teach you how to do that. That's going to be one of our programs. We'll put it into a program for you, and then we'll put it perhaps into a book or booklet for you. But one of the things that he said was you had to learn the art of public speaking. You had to be a communicator. And of course, people took that very seriously, and Toastmasters came into being. And obviously, what is true is that almost in every business school, and maybe even in many colleges, public speaking. I taught at a college for a number of years, and speech and public speaking was a required course. Everyone had to take it before they could graduate from this college. And it's a good thing. Many fears fell away, and many things that helped to make people more courageous happened. In fact, I just discovered a guy who says that he's in the business of helping you increase your courage. How to be more courageous. Well, I can tell you how to be more courageous. Start doing public speaking and start doing radio broadcasting. You'll learn how to be more courageous. Just simply this. I want you to think about learning how to do a radio program called podcasting. And let me tell you, we're working with organizations, and if you have a story to tell, if you have a business that has some wisdom, insight, and truth, some demonstrated wisdom and insight in it, we're going to help you tell your story on the World Wide Web in this booming electronic phenomenon called radio on demand podcasting, which is growing and going, and you will need to deal with it, and you'll probably need to figure out how to use it in your life and business. Maybe you want to pray for some courage to step out of your comfort zone and think about doing more public speaking, more public teaching, and more public broadcasting called podcasting. Just let that sit on your head for a while. We've got about 5 minutes to go, and now we're going to help you with a vital question. I oftentimes say it comes from the two most powerful words in business marketing. That's coming up. Once again, this is the Jesus Entrepreneur Experience. It's What It Takes Radio. It's real radio. It's on-demand radio. And we're from the TCENglobal.com, TCENglobal.com. That's where we hang out for the Christian Entrepreneur Network. I'm Stan. I'm not only your broadcaster, I'm a business performance coach who wants to help you make your mark in your life and your business. And we'll be right back. Virgil is my friend. He's going to head up our command center in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, because Sioux Falls, South Dakota is kind of going to be the corporate command center of the Christian Entrepreneur Network, and we're building a team of younger, older, in between men and women who seek God's special wisdom, His insight, His strength, and His direction, so they can live fully alive, so they can build a business and do work that matters, and perhaps make a difference in their world, and who knows, maybe the world. That's what a Christian entrepreneur is all about. It's a person just like you, hopefully with help from people just like me and people that we help one another, that we will seek God's special wisdom, insight, strength, and His direction so that we can be fully alive, real aliveness in our life and in our service, and that our work and business will matter and make a difference. Virgil asked me again, and this I delight in doing. Tell me again, Stan, how we're different. Tell me again, Stan, how we're different. And here's what he was about. He said, the world is full of Christian ministry organizations, churches, and groups. And many of them are involved in discipleship and events, certainly in the marketplace. And there are many of them. I'm affiliated with some of them. They're all doing very different and very good things. But he asked the question, Stan, how are we different? That's what he wants me to keep reminding him. I still love one of my favorite stories of there was an organizational grouping of a variety of people who were in the business of helping hopefully make the world better. And the representative of a strong Christian organization, after hearing all of the wonderful things that these people were about, he simply came to the lectern and he just looked out and said, we're different. We're different. Two great words. We're different. And then obviously the question is, well, how are you different? There's a wonderful marketing story about a guy who actually used his competitors' brochures. That's right. He used his competitors' advertising as a way of doing his advertising and his marketing on the cheap. You'll love the story. But for the time being, how are we different? I'm going to tell you a little bit more about that. But that's a continually good question for you in your business. Keep telling yourself, asking yourself, and demonstrating to your customers, your prospects, the people that you're trying to work with, we're different. And then keep, as Virgil was saying, Stan, keep reminding me, keep telling me how we're different. Think about that. We're going to try and answer that question. In fact, on our website, in the video section, we already have done that. But we'll do it again because we all need reminding, and a message needs to be heard 7 times. That's right. But we're going to tell you how we're different. And then I'm going to ask you to sit down this coming weekend and say, this is how all of the businesses that are like us, how we're different. I would love to hear how you're different. Thank you for your time. Stan Houston at RadioEdge77@gmail.com. If this has been helpful to you, tcenglobal.org/contribute now. tcenglobal.org/contribute now. We're a 501c3 nonprofit organization, and we'd love if you could help. We'd be grateful if you could help us out. Do a favor for us. Hopefully we'll do a favor for you. Best and blessings to you. We'll be in touch later in the weekend, but I hope to hear from you. Keep praying. Start podcasting and remind yourself and others how you are different. I'm Stan Houston for the Jesus Entrepreneur Experience. All the best and blessings to you. Hopefully this has been a conversation that did count. Until next time, bye for now.